They made a decision that really just, oh my God, to this day.
I feel like I felt the courtroom shake. Like it just shook. With like, the people were shocked.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm nervous. Like, because at the end of the day, this lady thinks that we're just the property managers. She didn't even really know that we was the owners of this property. You won in court, but you lost the property. And at this point, at that nasty attitude you've been giving me and my wife, you done. We don't want to hear nothing. We are done. We want our property back. We do not have to renew the lease. We don't have to do any of that. When we first put you in that property, you try to play this corporate role. You try to like speak like a white person and try to just be this uppity person. But now we see your true colors. You are very nasty. You move in our unit on a Section 8 voucher with your kids. You have a man move in. He's technically not supposed to be in there because he's not on your voucher.
No.
Now you and your man breaks up. Now he's telling you he's not leaving because he has squatter rights. That does not make sense.
I don't know. But I'm not inheriting a squatter.
This is the most craziest situation we ever been in when it comes to a landlord-tenant relationship. We did not get in this business for this.
We ain't even get to the tip of the iceberg yet. Like, this is crazy.
Wait, guys, so that's one part. We're gonna get to that. Let's get to this, man. This tenant from hell. We've been dealing with a lot from, this tenant from hell, dealing with the court process and going back and forth. And,
oh, man.
The government shutdown that we was dealing with that she decided not to pay. So to finally get to this place where we went to court and she ended up winning the case. I'm just extremely devastated.
It's very disheartening.
It really is.
Very disheartening.
I just thought the judge was going to side with us because we are landlords, and we have experience. And if you look at the case as a whole, my whole thing is if a tenant doesn't pay, you should automatically lose the case. You shouldn't have no fight on that end.
No, you shouldn't.
You should not have no fight because at the end of the day, there's a tenant and landlord contract.
Pretty much you're giving your word that you're going to oblige this contract. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Exactly.
And you signing the dotted line. We signing the dotted line. If anything happens with the property while you a tenant there, it's our responsibility to take care of those things. And anytime our tenant calls, any of our tenants, first things first, we get it done. We don't waste no time. We right on top of everything.
That's it.
We call our contractors. If they busy, we'll find somebody else. But we do everything that we got to do to make sure we cover ground, to make sure our tenants are taken care of.
Yep. It has been some things. This is not just the only thing. There's been little things.
This is our last straw at this point.
We are tired.
We really are.
We're tired. So we just wanted to come on here and give you guys a little bit of how we got here to be tired.
Yeah.
What brought us here to be tired.
Yeah, so pretty much this tenant, she started off to be a really good tenant. She handled all her business when it was time for her documents and working with her caseworker. Everything was pretty smooth. Section 8, they made the process smooth. This was actually our first Section 8 tenant. And when we signed up for the program, that was us giving back to the the affordable housing crisis that everybody's facing across America. Our thing was we want to be able to give back because we come from Section 8 and we know how it is. We know how it is, and we grew up on that. And having single parents and stuff like that, it can be a struggle. So we wanted to play our part as property owners to be able to give back to the affordable crisis to bless somebody else. We buy properties in great neighborhoods and great school districts.
Yes.
So if a property's in a great neighborhood and a great school district, and we allow a Section 8 tenant to be able to have that property or to lease that property, that gives them an opportunity to be in a great neighborhood, and that also gives them an opportunity for their kids to be in great school districts. So we thought that was our thing and our way to be able to give back in that instance to help out these people in these less unfortunate situations.
Exactly.
And we've done that. We got quite a few, Section 8 tenants and stuff like that. But that was the whole sole purpose of this. So to be in this space now with this tenant from hell, it feels like we've being manipulated to a degree in a lot of situations. It's a lot of manipulation going on. At this point, even the housing specialists act like they don't want to answer the phone. Nobody's answering emails. We've been to court. This whole thing started, back during the government shutdown when the tenant didn't pay during the government shutdown. Also, Section 8 had put all their payments on hold during the government shutdown. So that kind of left us with the bad end of the stick regarding having to pay those payments on our own. At the end of the day, we business owners, so we prepare for those things. But it's still the responsibility of the tenant to be able to cover their portion of the rent, no matter what the situation and circumstances are there. That is your responsibility as a tenant. That's what you signed the lease for. Okay, the government shut down, that happened. But at the end of the day, when the government shutdown happened, that's a separate thing. That's a government issue. At the end of the day,
that's out of our control.
Yeah, that's out of our control. Yeah,
you know, we understood that. We didn't want to be here. We didn't want to have
good landlords.
Yes, we wanted to do
show
what
our
we
experiences
could to help. But continue.
Yeah. So Section 8 didn't pay, and we understood that because that's a government thing. That was a global thing. That was a nationwide thing that we are all dealing with in the United States. But when it comes to this tenant not paying your portion, when you got our property, you had a job. You had a job. That's one of the reasons why we selected you as a Section 8 tenant. We had multiple options. We had a fleet of people trying to get this unit. But one of the reasons why we selected you is because you did have a job. So we was looking at it like, okay, this lady has a job. She has kids, but her kids are at grade school. So we know at the end of the day that this home will not be occupied 24 hours with kids running around or her being there 24 hours. So we wanted to get somebody who was at least trying by having some type of employment and working every day and doing what they had to do to pay their portion of the bill.
Yeah.
But when a government shutdown happens, she just was like, well, government shutdown, they not paying, I'm not paying. Who gave her the right to think in that way?
I don't know.
That was a frustrating situation.
You
That's
don't
the
pay,
contract.
you
You
can't
breaching
stay.
the contract at that point.
So, yeah, we get there, you know, she's like, I'm still working. We're under the impression she's still working. We don't know.
Yeah.
But little do we know, what was she collecting?
Yeah, so during the court process, we're gonna get to that. So we finally made it to court because once Section 8 wasn't paying, she wasn't paying. At that point, we filed an eviction because Section 8 didn't pay their part, what we was okay with. But when she didn't pay her part, that was the red flag for us. Once she decided not to pay her portion of the rent, and at that first instance, and that next 30 days, that gave us the option to go to court and file an eviction. So we filed the eviction, then we had to wait a few weeks. And that was just so up in the air because she's trying to basically live in our unit without paying. And we got bills and mortgages and stuff we got to pay. Exactly. So we still on a hook for that. The banks are not giving us no forbearance. The banks are not telling us we're not paying. The banks don't care that the government is shut down. The banks don't care about any of that. That is on us. That is our responsibility as property owners. And she don't really understand the tenant and landlord property relationship. So we went to court. We went to court. We had to go to court. We did what we had to do. We went to court. We finally filed for the eviction. It took a couple of weeks. We got to court.
Yep.
We got to court. This lady was just trying to like bargain with us, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't have to get to this point. I just want my place. I have my kids. We love the schools. We love the place." But I'm like, "Ma'am, you did not pay. You do not pay. If you do not pay your portion, at that point, our back is against the wall as owners, as business owners." So, like, we telling you, we giving you different options. Like, man, you need to pay. We calling you. We sending you emails. We sending you a certified mail letting you know that you have to pay. You decided not to pay because the government shut down.
Exactly. That's a choice she made on her own.
Yeah, that's the choice that you made. At the end of the day, you are a grown adult. This is a landlord-tenant relationship. Just as well as you got bills, we don't own these properties free and clear, and it's just like, oh, that's their property, they don't have no bills. No, we still got taxes we got to pay. We got insurance we got to pay. We got mortgages we got to pay. We got other things that we got to take care of, and this is not our only property. We have other properties as well. So for you to really sit there and not pay was ridiculous. So let's get back to the court. So now we're in court, and before we actually go in there, we see her, and she's trying to bargain with us, saying that, you know, we shouldn't have to came this far. You know, this is unfortunate. You know, can I just pay you guys now?
It's crazy.
Yeah, we telling her no. We don't even want the payment at this point. We just want our property back.
Yeah,
we don't care about your money. We want to move on because after those phone calls that we had with you, all those messages that we got from you, you cursing at us, you cursing us out, you doing all these different things, and you showing your real personality because when you was trying to get the place, you was so nice. People really like the code switch out here, guys. She was extremely nice.
Be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, extremely nice lady. Her children were nice. Everybody was intact. Her previous landlord checked out. And kind of find out that previous landlord wasn't even her real landlord.
How about that?
Because we did research on that landlord. That was not a real legit landlord. That person does not have no properties in their name. We even checked the LLC in the state we live in under that name. Nothing came up as property owner. So we up in the air about that too. Was that landlord was even your real landlord, or was this landlord trying to get you out the house because the way you treat people and the way you do things? Somebody said, "I love your channel. We love you too. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all the comments and all the good feedback we've been getting. Now we in court, so we finally get in there. It's a lot of stuff going on. This is like this is like our real first court case with our tenant.
Yeah.
So we're nervous. We scared. We're nervous. We young. We don't really go to court. We don't have no court. We don't have no backgrounds. We don't have no criminal backgrounds. We never sue nobody. We never been sued. We don't know how this is going to turn out. We don't know how this is going to be. But we was happy that we was actually in there because it was a great experience.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. Even though we had some anxiety, how'd you feel about it?
I mean, I love the fact that we were able to watch a few cases prior to ours. So we had to wait a while. So we saw how it goes and kind of got the idea. So that kind of eased me. At first, I wasn't like really nervous because I'm like, what do I expect? What if she pulls a rabbit out of a hat and get away? I mean, I didn't know what to expect. So after seeing other cases and how they went,
and then we younger than her too, because then I feel like she was trying to manipulate us.
Yeah, because we are younger than her. So it was really, my emotions were all over the place for real. But as time went on and we got to present our case, I felt good about it. I just knew we were gonna win.
I thought we was gonna win too. I really thought we was gonna win. So all right, so we sitting there, we waiting. Other people are going before us, and then they finally calls us. When they calls us, my heart is like this. Boom, 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 boom. I'm nervous, like, cause at the end of the day, this lady thinks that we're just the property manager. She didn't even really know that we was the owners of this property.
Yeah.
So she's looking at us like, are y'all even the owners? So the judge, they calls us up, and she said, basically, we explained the case. I was showing some of the text messages that we had, that that like some of my evidence. I showed the
some screenshots.
Of course, I showed some screenshots. I showed the 10 days to quit notice. We gave her 10 days to either pay her stuff now. We're gonna file an eviction. I had all my eviction documents. We showed that as well.
Yeah.
And we was just showing our evidence that we had to let this judge know that, hey, this individual is not holding up the end of the stick of the bargain of the tenant relationship that we had,
or any stick at that.
Yeah, she's not agreeing to any of this. The government has shut down, but as a Section 8 tenant, you are still liable for your portion. That was our only thing. So we was basically, I explained everything to the judge. He said okay, and then he ended up calling her up, Miss Ebony, and then Ebony, I don't know what she said to him. I guess she explained her case the best way she could, and then after that, they made a decision.
Yep.
They made a decision that really just, oh my God, to this day.
I feel like I felt the courtroom shake. Like it just shook. With like, the people were shocked.
I really don't understand, because what the judge don't realize is that there is an agreement in place. She did not live up to her portion of the agreement.
No,
there's no way you could side with this lady. So we was devastated. We was devastated. We was just...
I was like this close from this, like, going
God, I was
crazy.
so upset. And I just had to keep my composure.
Yeah, we had to hold it together.
Yeah, we had
probably
to really...
our hardest time of holding it together.
And it was so crazy because that courtroom, when you're dealing with tenants and small civil court claims, people in there crying, people in there hollering, and they sad that they losing their places or they have to get kicked out. They complain about how they got family and all this, that, and the third. And it was just a heated room. Like, it was a lot of emotion in there, and it just felt so weird. Like, I don't even have a ticket on my background, so I don't be in these courtrooms. We're not them kind of people.
Yeah, it was heavy.
Yeah, it was very heavy.
It was heavy.
But the judge pretty much came back. He knocked on the wood, and he just pretty much said, when it comes to the property, this defendant be able to keep the property. We are not forcing her to move.
Yeah.
But he did, let her keep the property, but he made her pay that. She had to pay her back rent.
Yes.
But we was trying to tell the judge, we didn't care about the back rent. We don't want the money. We want our property back. But there's a whole thing here that we didn't know. Initially, when we gave Ebony the property, she had a job and she had a Section 8 voucher. That's one of the reasons why we let her qualify, because she had a stable income.
Yes.
But kind of find out, somewhere during her tendency of occupying a unit, she lost her job. We didn't know she lost her job.
There was no communication about this.
Yeah, there was no communication to us.
How do we know?
She spoke to her Section 8
housing.
The housing specialist manager, and that I guess they was informed that she lost her job. We had no clue. No Section 8 reached out to us. Ebony didn't reach out to us.
There was
nobody
no
reached
for her portion.
Like nobody reached out to us. There was like a lack of communication across the board when it came to her losing her job and not letting us know if she had a job or she didn't have a job. When she lost her job, that allows Section 8 to change the portion that she pays and the portion that they kick out for her to occupy the unit for her, her family, her children. Again, there was a lack of communication. We knew no knowledge of her losing a job. She was also getting SSI. She was also getting child support. A lot of those government programs also came to a stop for a couple weeks. So she didn't even have extra money coming in to be able to pay her portion.
Yeah.
If she wanted to take responsibility for that. But when you think about it, technically, that was her argument. But in hindsight, we realized that it wasn't her responsibility anyway, because the judge already said and had documents stating that Section 8 was covering 100% anyway, which we had no clue of.
Again, no communication.
No communication, man. Every time we tried to communicate with her, she just had this real raunchy, real ratchet, nasty personality, talk crazy out the mouth, very emotional.
I don't know what it is.
And if she would have told us about this and just told us and was honest about her situation, we would have definitely looked at this in a different light.
We definitely probably would have helped what we knew, but we can't help what we don't know.
There's programs out here that will help cover your funding, like local programs, not even government programs. They have programs like Crisis, that when people fall on hard times, that they would come in and step in and help these individuals who are facing hard times. So with her having that lack of communication, it really put a dent in our relationship.
Yeah.
It put a big dent in our landlord-tenant relationship.
And we can't, like I said, we can't help what
how
we
you
don't
feel
know.
like she treated you? Like, how you feel like she treated
I
us?
definitely feel like going in, we had some type of rapport, and now at this point, there's nothing. There's nothing. Every time we speak to her, it's either her yelling and cursing, or it's almost like we're the monsters.
It's like we supposed to know. How we gonna know and we be the monsters of the situation when you having a lack of communication, you're not telling us exactly what's going on?
Communication.
We landlords. It's supposed to be a relationship here.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
And that's not even the tip of the iceberg, guys. We ain't even get to the tip of the iceberg yet. Like, this is crazy.
Wait. All right, so that's one part. We're gonna get to that. So how can I put this? So after all that back and forth, and after all that going to court, paying all those fees and stuff like that to get the eviction process started, and after all that back and forth and having to wait that process out, not being able to pay our mortgage, communicating with the bank, going through all that uproar, with Ebony, I don't know if she realized or not, she had to realize, but her lease is coming to an end at the end of February.
She couldn't have realized it.
Her lease is coming to an end at the end of February. So through all this stuff we was going through, the government shutdown, through the holidays, you made it through that. But now that the lease is coming to an end, come in. That property is back ours. That's where she lost at. You won in court, but you lost the property. And at this point, at that nasty attitude you've been giving me and my wife, you done. We don't want to hear nothing. We are done. We want our property back. We do not have to renew the lease. We don't have to do any of that. We are done. We don't have to renew the lease. We don't have to go to court. We don't have to get the sheriff involved. We don't have to have no documentation. Everything is written already in that lease term. We do not have to renew your lease. We gave you a 60-day notice. This lease term is done. you showed your true colors. When we first put you in that property, you try to play this corporate role. You try to like speak like a white person and try to just be this uppity person. But now we see your true colors. You are very nasty, and you keep trying to call us, and you sending us emails, knowing that the lease is ending, and you got your notice that you have to vacate their property. Stop calling us and trying to negotiate. We are not going for it. We done. We looking for decent people. This is a suburbs we put you in.
I don't want to take her calls anymore at this point. If it's not
we put you in the top 10 neighborhood.
I don't want to take any more calls for that.
Well,
at this point, I don't want to take any more calls. If it's not an emergency with the property, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to be talked to. She's just so vulgar. It's just nasty. Like, we can't have...
Very manipulative.
Upon a time had a decent rapport with conversation. There's no more of that. So
you won the case in court. Okay. You lost your job. Section 8 was supposed to pay 100%. Section 8 was not paying at the time because it was a government shutdown. But you were very nasty through that entire process. Mm-hmm. Talked to us, down on us like we little kids. Mm-hmm. You didn't know we owned the property. And when you have that ownership, like we do, you have power and control. So we decide who occupy units. So that's where you lose at. You won the court case, but you still lose the property. You're done. Get out of there. You gotta go. There's no negotiation. Stop calling us. Stop reaching out. We want our property back. And if you don't leave the property, we are getting the sheriff involved, and they're gonna force you out.
That's it.
As far as your kids and all the complaining and all the yelling, I understand and I feel for the kids. We have kids ourselves. Exactly. We understand that. But sometimes these adults have to take accountability for their actions and stop feeling so entitled. You are in a Section 8 program. And you feel that entitled like this is your property? Y'all don't own this property? This is our property. We paid for this. We went through underwriting. We found this. We did our due diligence. We got our inspections. This is our property. We want our property back. We don't want nothing to do with you.
That's it. I mean,
yeah. Speak on the other part of it, like which is even crazier.
So here's the top of the top of the mountain. So it was revealed to us from a close neighbor that she's been dating, which we don't have a problem with that. It's none of our business.
Yeah, but technically, when you're on Section 8, you're a single mom, you have kids, a man is not supposed to be in that house unless you are married. And if that man is in that house, he's on that lease, that kind of ups your voucher as well. Exactly. So she had a man living in that house without reporting it. Now we doing our backgrounds and due diligence on you now while you in the unit.
Yep.
My bad.
So now she has a man in the unit. Like I said, had she not been a Section 8 tenant, we wouldn't have an issue with it. We don't care what you do. That's your personal life. She's a grown woman. However, they break up. He don't want to leave. So now she's asking us, can she evict? She has to go to court to evict him. And we're trying to evict her. Exactly. This is crazy, people. We can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you. I just washed my hands with this lady.
That is insane, yo.
Is it?
That is insane. Why would she put herself in a situation? So this guy trying to hoard a house, he's not even on the lease.
So he's basically using his squatter rights because he gets mail there, I guess, at this point. And once you get mail somewhere, you live there. So now she has to evict him. And then we are in the process of evicting her.
Our lease is ending.
Well, her lease is ending at this point because we tried to evict her.
So at that point, once her lease ends, and he's saying he still has to leave when that lease ends. Because with the squatter stuff that he got going on, that we ain't got nothing to do with we don't get in people domestics. we don't have nothing to do with none of that.
Get in domestics.
All I know is he has to leave when that lease ends because you've been living there based off her.
Exactly.
I don't know how Section 8 is going to work that. I don't know how that's going to work out.
I have no clue.
But that individual will have to leave.
Any information on that? Drop that in the comments below because we don't know.
Your man is living in a unit. He's not on your Section 8 voucher. You guys broke up. Now he don't want to leave. Your lease is coming to an end, ma'am. He has to leave.
It sounds like he's done this before. Like, how did he know to do this?
He has to leave.
Oh, man. I'm telling you.
He has to leave. I don't know if he's not a part of your Section 8 voucher. I don't know how you're going to deal with the housing with that and how you're going to communicate that to your housing specialist. But I personally, I care about it because that's our unit, but,
but
y'all have to figure ain't no squatters right in this unit.
Go.
The lease is over.
Yeah.
That domestic boyfriend kind of situation, I don't know what's that going to be about.
I don't either, but they gotta go. I
don't know how that works out.
They gotta go together.
You move in our unit on a Section 8 voucher with your kids. You have a man move in. He's technically not supposed to be in there because he's not on your voucher.
No.
Now you and your man breaks up. Now he's telling you he's not leaving because he has squatter rights. That does not make sense.
I don't know. But I'm not inheriting a squatter.
I'm not inheriting a squatter either because once she's out, he gotta leave too. That's because now there's gonna be more court fees for us if we gotta go to court for that.
I'm telling you.
He's not even on the lease.
So when everyone's in the comments saying, how can we do this? This is what we're dealing with. This is what's on our table. This is what we're forced to deal with day in and day out. This is the parts that nobody talks about here.
It's insane, man. It's insane. So not only we got to get rid of this tenant on the side of her not renewing, now she has a boyfriend in the house that they no longer together, and he's talking about staying. How?
I don't know.
Because he gets mailed to the property? I don't know. He got to go. He got to go. They both got to go. So
somehow she has to evict him to get out. So she's in the process of doing that now. And I'm really done. I'm really done with it. I mean, we try to give our tenants their space. We try to give them room. We try to let them make the home theirs. This right here has taught me a lesson.
Yeah, this is a lot. This got us second guessing real estate.
We have been too lax.
Yeah.
With our tenants. Maybe
I'm ready
we need to tighten up.
Sell everything and buy Bitcoin. She don't want to buy no Bitcoin, but it's never like having your own properties. But when you deal with these headaches and people lying, people trying to manipulate you and all these different things, it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot, and it's a headache. And I see why people stay away from Section 8, and I see why people stay away from real estate in general. But I refuse to let this stop our journey. I refuse to. I feel like one bad apple should not ruin the whole tree. We should be able to cut that apple off and keep it moving.
Exactly.
And keep it moving. One of the biggest lessons I learned throughout this entire process was being able to keep an emergency fund just in case the government program shut down or a tenant decides not to pay, because we have to be able to cover ourselves.
Or a tenant moves out.
Etc. But at the same time, this is the most craziest situation we ever been in when it comes to a landlord-tenant relationship. We did not get in this business for this.
No.
We got in this business for equity growth. We got in this business for cash flow. We got in this business to be able to help our kids.
To have a legacy.
To have a legacy and help out our next generation. We didn't know these gurus on YouTube. They don't talk about none of this stuff.
No, I'm starting to feel like we're a caseworker.